Hey guys, welcome back to Budget Bike Build, where I'm in the process of converting a Huffy Scout, a 26-inch Huffy Scout mountain bike, to a single-speed dirt jumper. So I went out and bought a large adjustable wrench in order to get this part off. It is increasing the cost of the build, but the wrench is always something that I'll be able to use on another project. So I've already got this pre-loosened, but basically there are just two smooth edges on the cup there, and you just adjust your wrench, and then to loosen it you would push towards the back tire, and then we'll just go ahead and unscrew this, and then we'll be done with with removing the entire bottom bracket. And there you go. Oh good, here comes my help. Okay, so we're just going to remove the back wheel so that we can remove the freewheel in preparation for the sprocket that should be arriving tomorrow, so that we can convert this to a single speed. This is a 15mm bolt-on rim, so I'm just going to use my 15mm socket and ratchet to remove the wheel. Just break the wheel loose on both sides until you get it loose enough to remove the wheel from the frame. Once I get the wheel removed, I'll find the correct tool to use to detach the freewheel from the rim. I'm just going to lay the rim on the floor with the brake rotor side down, so that it'll be easy for me to access the freewheel in order to remove it. I'm just going to slide this frame out of the way, and that should be good. I've already pre-loosened the freewheel using my freewheel remover. Mine is pretty worn out, so I'll probably have to buy a new one before too much longer, but luckily it was able to do the job for this one. Basically, you just push the tool over that nut. It will feel like it's not going to fit, but you just have to use a little bit of force, and then line it up with the splines on the inside. Then you just take your wrench and go counterclockwise to loosen the freewheel. Then you can just use your hand to spin it until you have gotten it completely removed from the rim itself. And then you can remove your dork disc, because nobody likes those. Guess what day it is? It's parts day. My parts arrived today, so I can work on the build some more. The first thing we have here is a 16-tooth single-speed freewheel that I got, and I think I only gave somewhere around $10 for this one. And I have the 36-tooth chainring. As you know, if you've watched the other videos, I've decided to go with a red chainring as well as a red crank. And I also bought this gold one. This is an oval one that I've been wanting to try, but I bought that for my Hyper Hydroform, so maybe someday I'll do a video on that as well. And in the box here we have the crankset. This is the the IXF crankset that comes with the bottom bracket as well. And it looks really nice, actually. It's in beautiful red. I love the red of this thing. My chainring did not come with the bolts to put it on, but this set actually did. And this is the bottom bracket. Let's see here. Let's get it out of the package. It comes with 4 spacers. The bearings are really smooth on this as well. And this is the other crank arm. I'll get that unwrapped here in just a few moments once I get ready to actually do the build. But we'll go ahead and get started on this, getting this crankset put on. And here's the bottom bracket. It does come with 4 spacers. And I'm going to install the bottom bracket without tightening it at first because I want to make sure that everything lines up with the um, sprocket in the back. So I might need to make some adjustments to the um, spacers. So I'm not going to tighten it. And you can see on the bottom bracket, it does show you which side is right and which is left, and which direction to go to tighten it as well. And here's a look at the bottom bracket tool. This is the tool that we'll use to tighten both sides of the bottom bracket to make sure it's secure. So you'll want to make sure that you grease both sides of, or both cups for the bottom bracket. And you'll want to gently start twisting those in so that you do not cross thread it. And again, it does show you on the bottom bracket cups which direction to turn to tighten. And like I said before, for now I'm just tightening it finger tight so that I can see if I need to make any adjustments to the spacer plate placement. I just want to make sure that it'll line up with the rear sprocket. Okay, now we're going to install the rear sprocket. And you'll want to make sure that you're greasing all of your parts, as always. So then we'll take the sprocket and we'll also grease that as well. And here's the new sprocket. So we want to get the grease all in here. And then we'll put it on the hub. And it's supposed to have a special tool to install it, but with these sprockets you can just spin them on by hand. And then once you start pedaling the bike, the motion of the pedaling will actually tighten the sprocket. So it's basically self-tightening. So now we're going to install the chainring onto the crank arm. You would just use an Allen key for this. You just put the nut side in the back of the chainring and screw in the bolt part. And then once we get this tightened down, we'll be able to install the crank arm. So I kind of got wrapped up into completing the project. I did have to make a few changes, and I wanted to take care of that rather than recording. So I had to add a couple spacers to the sprocket on the back in order to get it more in line with the chainring. And I also had to put the chainring on the inside of the crank arm instead of on the outside where I originally had it. In order to install the crank, you essentially just put the arms on and then you tighten the pinch bolts on the non-drive side. So I'm pretty much finished. I am going to take the decals off and tighten everything down really well and see if there's anything else that I want to do to it. And there it is. There's the finished product, right side up. I haven't taken the kickstand off yet. Honestly, I'm still on the fence with the bike. Before I even made any changes, I didn't even ride the bike. And I'm actually getting ready to take it for a ride here after I finish filming. There's the crank installed. And then the sprocket. I did go ahead and take off all of the decals, including the green and blue. I took it off the rims as well, but I just trimmed it off because I wanted to keep the gray because I like that it matches the bike's color. I did take the bike out for a ride. It does ride smooth and everything works like it should. I will say that this bike is rated for anyone from 5'2" to 5'11", and I'm 5'4", and I felt pretty cramped. But it is still a decent bike for the cost. And there you have it, guys. Make sure that you like the video if you like it. If you don't like it, fine. If you have anything you want to comment on, feel free. And also, please subscribe, because I do plan on doing more of these types of videos. If there's anything you'd like to see me change, feel free to leave that in the comments as well.